We also have a feature of structures. It's actually not a feature of structures, it's a feature of the C language that's used quite commonly in conjunction with structures called typedef, the typedef keyword. What is it? Well, it's a shorthand. It's used to create shorthand versions of structure names, so we never have to bother writing out the whole thing. Now, as I said before, just a moment ago, typedef is not just used with structures. It can be used to create shorthand versions of any composite type, like strings or, well, you'll see some more when we get up to pointers. But it's used quite commonly with structures, so that's where we're going to examine it for the first time. For example, here's our old struct employee again. Now this time we're going to use it in a typedef. So we create, right up the top of the file, probably just underneath where we created the struct employee in the first place, a typedef line that reads typedef struct employee emp. So what does that do? Well, it actually creates for us a new type. It defines, that's the def in typedef, defines a new type. That's what typedef means. It defines a new type called emp. And emp is exactly equivalent to struct employee. So in other words, you can think of it as an alias. You can think of it as a shorthand name. When you've got a type definition like that in place, you can create the following variable declarations. You can just say that emp1, for example, is of type emp. Now that's a lot less typing than saying that emp1 is of type struct employee, which is what it would look like here. Those two last variable declarations of emp1 on the screen in front of you are both exactly equivalent. They're equivalent because of that typedef line. So there's not much to it, this typedef. It's really just a shorthand. So let's go and quickly see if we can change our existing program to take advantage of typedefs. Here we are back in our struct2.c, which I've now saved again as struct3.c, and I'm now going to modify it to create a typedef. Okay, so here we go. We'll do typedef struct employee as emp. Okay, so now that I've created a type called emp, I can't actually have any variables called emp. And I did have some variables called emp here. I had emp here, so I'll just call that E now. Make sure I don't call it emp anywhere, because you can't have a type and a variable that have the same name. Whoops, that one's fine, because that's the print emp, that's the name of a function. But I can't put it there, and I can't put it there. Okay, now that I've done that, I've made sure that that's okay. I've created a new type now called emp. So I can use that now anytime I would have used struct employee. So I can, if I want, just go and do a global search and replace. I'll do that manually. I'll do it here. I'll do it here. See how the code starts to look a lot simpler when you do this? This line now says that readEmp is simply a function that returns an emp, whatever that is. What is an emp? Well, you can go up here and find out. You can find out that it's a struct employee, but hopefully it should be fairly self-explanatory. And again, this will change. So this is emp, and now these will also change as well. emp1 and emp2 are now both of type emp. I guess it's fair to say that if this particular file compiles, then it's going to obviously work, because it's the compilation that would give us the troubles if the typedef keyword did not work as we claimed it did. So if it compiles, it's probably going to work. No errors. Okay, well, I'll run it just to prove. Please enter the age, 23, ages 23. Okay, so that works. I guess all I've proved to you is that this line here, struct employee, and this word here, emp, are now actually equivalent because I've joined them together using a typedef. Okay, typedefs, as I said, are not just used with structures, but they're used quite commonly with structures to create little shorthands like that. I'm sure we'll see more use of typedef in the remainder of the course. Okay, that's the whole chapter. The structures are very easy.